Hello everyone, this is Sumant. In this video, let's discuss polymorphism in Python. So, what is this polymorphism? So, if we just divide this word polymorphism, poly and morphism. So, poly means many, right? And morphism means forms. So, it means polymorphism means different forms. So, if you want to define this polymorphism means using the same operator or function or method, whatever it may be, in different forms. So in different situations we're going to use that differently. For example, let's understand this polymorphism with an example. Let's take a basic example. If you take this plus operator, right? If you just take this plus operator, what's the use of this plus operator? We're gonna use this for addition, right? So let's say I'm just adding two numbers, 2 plus 3. If you just give, you can see we got 5 as an output. So we are using this plus operator for adding two integers, two numbers. So now let's understand another example. I'm just taking, you can see I'm just taken two strings and I'm just adding those using this plus operator. Now if I just give enter, you can see we got AB, right? So here what you have to understand is the operator is same, right? We are using the same plus operator for adding the integers as well as these strings. So that's called as polymorphism. This is a basic level of polymorphism. Let's understand with another example. For example, let's take some inbuilt functions. Let's take this inbuilt method len. So if I just give len of, I'm just giving a string, you can see we got 6. So the same len method we can just use for, let's take a tuple. So I have just taken some random values. You can see even we got here as 5. So we are using the same len method for finding the length of the string as well as the length of the tuple. So we have to understand the method is same, but we are using for different operations on different things. So that's you have to understand. That's called as polymorphism. Similarly, how you define, like how you use it, these methods and operators, in a similar fashion you can just use class methods also, like the methods in class. Even you can just define that, even that become an example of polymorphism. In a similar way, how we just use it, this operator and also this inbuilt method, right? This is an inbuilt method, right? Len is an inbuilt method. In similar fashion, you can just create your own custom method. Even for that, the polymorphism applies. So if I just want to discuss that, so here you can see I'm just creating a class A, and here I'm just using def. I'm just giving print class A, and similarly I'm just copying this, and even here I'm just changing the name of the class, and I am not changing the name of the method. I'm just using the same method test in both cases, and here I'm just creating class B. Now you can see, right? Even this is an example of polymorphism. Now if I just create two methods of the two classes, now if I just try to call these two methods a.testoff and b.testoff, you can see we got two values like a class A and class B. So we can able to use the same method names in different classes. So even this is an example of polymorphism, right? The name of the method which we have used here is same, but the operation is different. So this is an example of polymorphism. Now in this polymorphism we have mainly three subtopics, like method overloading, method overriding and duck typing. So let's discuss those one by one. First one is method overloading. Method overloading is nothing but using the same method for different operations. So actually in Python it doesn't support this method overloading, but indirectly we can just perform this method overloading. So let's discuss this method overloading. Let's define some two functions. Let's say I just want to multiply two numbers. For example, let's say, so I'm just giving the name as product. So here I'm just giving two arguments like a and b, and here I'm just returning a star b, right? So I'm just running this, and if I just want to call this, so I can just use product of 2, 4. You can see I got the value as 8, right? For example, let's say you have to use multiply 3 numbers. So I'm just giving 2, 4, let's say 5. So you can see product of this function takes only 2 arguments, but 3 was given. So this is an error, right? So what we can do, I'm just creating another method like function like def product of, I'm just giving a, b, c, and here I'm just returning a star, b star, c. Now if I just try to call this product of 2, 4, you can see we got an error, right? It means, so here we can see we have two methods with the same name but different parameters and different operations. So what happens is, so we can just use the latest defined method. First we have defined this, right, this method. So after that we have defined this. So it will just, the product what we have used now is just overloading the product which we have used previously. So that's why in Python we can't use this method overloading directly. But if you want to perform this too, for example, let's say if you want to perform this a into b as well as a, like if you want to multiply 2 numbers as well as 3 numbers, we instead of doing in this way, we can just do in another way. Let's discuss that. So if instead of this a comma b, I'm just giving star args. So we have already discussed this star args, and so here I'm just using the for loop for I in args. So first I'm just defining some, I'm just giving c is equal to 1 here, and here I'm just giving c is equal to c into I. Now if I just try to return this c, I'm just running here. Now you can see I can just use product of 2, 4 as well as product of 2, 4, 5. You can see I got the value 40, right? So that's, so in that way you can just do this method overloading. But if you want to do this method overloading by which we have done in previous case, like by creating two methods using the same method name, that won't be possible in Python. So that you have to understand. So now let's discuss method overriding in Python. So the basic thing we have to understand is, in method overriding we just require two classes. So here we're gonna use the inheritance concept which we have discussed already. So I'm just defining, okay, let's use the example which I have used it previously. So I'm just giving that, and here I'm just inheriting the class EA into the class B. So I'm just running this. Here I'm just creating an object of class B, and if I just try to access the method test a.test of, you can see we got only class B. It means we have inherited this test from class A, but even here we have this class test, right? The method which we have inherited here is overridden by the method which have created in the class B. So that's the reason why we got only class B here when we call this test of function, test of method. So if you just want to understand this bit more, so I'm just using this help of B here. You can see here you can see the order. First we have B and next we have A. So whenever we call the method like whenever we create an object of that particular class, and if we just call that, so what it will do means first it will check whether this method is present in the this class or not. So and next, if it is not present, again it will just go to this class A, and again it will check there whether it is present there or not. Since we have this test in the class B itself, so we got this. So that's called as method overriding. And there is another topic, there is another concept called duck typing. Even let's discuss that. So what is this duck? Why they have given the name duck? So they have defined this duck typing by taking an example of a phrase. So the phrase is, if it looks like a duck and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. So why they have defined that phrase means, so it means we don't care what type of object we are working with. We just only care whether it's giving the output which we are asking. So that's the reason why we used to why they have defined that phrase. So if you just want to understand with an example, so I will just create a class student. I'm just defining a student def study. Here I'm just printing I study and get good marks. Like that I have just created a function. I have just created that, and similarly I'm just creating another two classes. So you can see student 2 and student 3. Here I just given student, for student 2 I just created a method like study play, and I have just given I study and also play. And for student 3 I just given I study but I do not get good marks. So these are the three classes which I have defined, and also the three methods which I have defined here. Now if I just create another function like def study test, right? I'm just creating another function like def studies test, and here I'm just passing an argument like, let's say A, I just passing A, and here I'm just returning A dot study of. So I'm just returning this method, so which is present here. Now I'm just using this function which I have created here, right? I'm just passing these three classes which I have used here. I'm just giving student 2 as well as student 3. So I'm just passing the classes, right? So I just want to, now if I just try to run this, so I'm just changing the order, I'm just running those. So now you can see I got like I study and get good marks, and I study but I don't get good marks, and we didn't get the third one, right? Like we didn't get this I study and also play. We didn't get that. Why? Because what we have called here, we just called A dot study of. If there is method study of in a particular class, then it will call. Otherwise it just gives an error. We don't care what type of object we are working with. We just only care whether the particular class has what we have asked for. Only that we gonna check. So you can see we just asked for study. So since it didn't have since this class student 2 didn't have the method study, so that's why it returns as an error. So that's called as duck typing. So if it looks like a duck, if it is quacks like a duck, it's a duck, right? For example, let's say a hen. So if a hen is walking like a duck and it's quacking like a duck, then it's a duck. Whatever it may be the color, shape, whatever it may be the weight, size, etc., whatever it may be, but if it is walking like a duck and quacking like a duck, it's a duck. So it means we don't care about the properties, etc. We just care only what we want. We just want whether it is quacking like a duck or whether it is walking like a duck. We just only comparing that. Similarly, if you just compare this example to the classes which we have to the example here, even here we just asked the study of method, right? Whatever it may be, whatever may be the operation inside that method study of, we don't care of that, we just want study of, right? We just want that method study of, that's it. So you can see, since the two classes have study of method, we are just, when we call those, we are just getting that. So that's why it called as duck typing. Like, I hope you understood this polymorphism and like method overloading and method overriding and duck typing. So that's it for this video. If you understood the video, like the video, and if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe, and thanks for watching.